Yo, 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 what's really good, people? It's your boy Dreams, or should I be saying Saliem to my Kazakh brothers and sisters? It's your boy Arman. We are back on Cloud9. Guys, your boy is sitting down today. I'm sitting down. You're not used to seeing me sitting down. I'm usually standing up. We're doing dance reactions. We're doing music reactions. But today, we're doing something a little bit different. Yeah, I've been wanting to learn more about Kazakhstan. It's not just about the music. Like, you guys know, I want to learn about the culture. I want to learn about the history. So I thought, let me get into it. Asked a few people for some recommendations. This was one that was given to me. So I thought, you know what? Let's not waste any more time. Let's learn some more about Kazakhstan, guys. Let's see what's going on.
Guys, no, I'm not going to do a Borat impression, okay? That movie didn't even have a single Kazakh person in it. They filmed the Kazakhstan.
You know what I got to say as well? Just before we even get into this. Fuck Borat. Yeah? That's all I got to say. Fuck Borat.
Part in a gypsy village in Romania, and Sacha Baron Cohen was speaking Hebrew half the time. It did, however, boost their tourism by like tenfold, so there's that.
It's time to learn geography now!
Hey everyone, I'm your host Barbs. Today we cover our first Central Asian country.
Well, I mean, doesn't Afghanistan kind of count?
Didn't Afghanistan kind of... Yeah. Kazakhstan is cool because it's like the country that melts both Europe and East Asia together in a very unique way. You can even kind of tell just by looking at the people. It's like they look kind of Asian, but then you're not sure because some of them have like light Caucasian features.
This is so true. What he's saying is so true. When I first started seeing Kazakh people, I was so confused because the features were like, I was like, what's going on here? Very, very unique. Very unique, quite mixed. Yeah.
I feel you, Kazakhstan. I've been getting that my whole life. And how did it all happen? Well, it's partially to do with the location that they live in, which brings us to... Now, Turkey may be the bridge between Europe and Asia if you consider the Middle East Asia, but Kazakhstan is like the bridge between Europe and East Asia. First of all, Kazakhstan is located in Central Asia, surrounded by 5 other countries, so close to Mongolia.
Guys, whoa. Kazakhstan is huge.
First of all, Kazakhstan is located in Central Asia, surrounded...
Kazakhstan is huge. I had no idea. It is humongous.
Surrounded by 5 other countries, so...
Look at the size of... Nah. What? Oh my days.
Close to Mongolia, but a 20-mile wide corridor separates them, with a coast on the northeast sides of the Caspian Sea, where their only seaport Aktau is located. It is the world's largest landlocked country, 9th largest in the world at nearly 1 million square kilometers. Like, seriously, the country's distance is like the same from London to Istanbul. Speaking of which,
Whoa. Guys, I'm in London, yeah? Look at the size of my whole country is not even like 1/10 of the size of Kazakhstan. That is mad. That's mad. Like, hold on. So when I come to Kazakhstan, it's going to take me like a month to get to do the whole country. This is crazy.
Longest road in Europe, the E40, extends over 5,300 miles, all the way from Calais, France to Ritter, Kazakhstan.
Wow.
Cute. The country is divided into 14 regions, or Oblistar, with the capital Astana located in the Akmola region.
Oh, wow. Okay. Guys, listen. Comment in the comment section. Yeah. Where in Kazakhstan are you from? Which region are you from? I know about Almaty. Yeah. But yeah, I don't recognize any of these other ones, to be fair. Wow, okay.
Nonetheless, Almaty in the south is actually the largest city, with Shymkent rounding out number 3. And all 3 of these cities have the busiest airports in Kazakhstan. Now, Kazakhstan was part of the former USSR prior to independence, so you see kind of like leftover disputes when it comes to territorial anomalies. Basically, it kind of went like this. Hello, I'm Gorbachev, and all you republics are relinquished from the USSR, which is not the USSR anymore, but just plain Russia. Oh, and it's the year 1990.
Okay, but we have like mix-up communities, so where do we draw the borders?
You wanted this, you figure it out. The Kyrgyzstan episode is going to be so fun, I promise. In the Caspian Sea, Kazakhstan has a little dispute with Russia over the marshy Ukantny Island, as well as the Zhestki and Malijamchushny sandbanks, known for being located above an offshore oil-producing zone. Then we have that little dispute with Uzbekistan over the Vozrozdenia Island, which is now a peninsula due to the drying up of the Aral Sea. The only other strange territorial anomaly would probably be the famous Baikonur Cosmodrome. This is the site where the first launch of the first satellite Sputnik and the first manned orbital flight by Yuri Gagarin happened. This place is leased to Russia until 2000 2050, and today you will need a Russian visa if you want to visit, unless you're lucky enough to score a guided tour. Yeah, in 1991, the Russians were like, all right, Kazakhstan, you are your own country now. No more USSR. You're free.
Wow, I get my own space, the Caspian Sea, the mines, the mineral fields, the grassland. Oh, look, a space station.
That's still mine. That's still mine.
Okay, fine. But remember, you do owe me from all that nuclear testing we were doing on the east side. Now it's like the most radioactive thing on the planet.
Semipalatinsk. Look it up. I mean, when they built it, they didn't realize Kazakhstan would eventually secede, so yeah. Nonetheless, there are over 27,000 ancient monuments throughout Kazakhstan. Places of interest might include things like the Monument of Independence, the Pyramid of Peace and Harmony, the Issyk Burial Mound with the Golden Man, the Soyuz 11 Memorial, Khan Shatyr, the tallest tent in the world, Bayterak Tower, Medu, the world's highest skating rink, Ascension Cathedral, Aristan Bab Mausoleum, the National Museum of Kazakhstan, the Museum of Folk Music, Fountain Circus, Koktobe Hill Recreational Center with rides and attractions, and a Beatles monument, Nur Astana Mosque, and the Triumphal Arch of Mangilik El. But just don't go to Semipalatinsk, it's like worse than Chernobyl. Yeah, that was a hard blow to their land, which is otherwise pretty majestic.
This guy's talking so quick. I'm trying to take in everything he's saying. But I'm very intrigued by this Semipalatinsk. Semipalatinsk? Is this like something that Russia tried to hide? I know that you guys have told me before when we've gone over some of them, you know, some of the music reactions, and we've touched on some history and some, you know, certain subjects. You've let me know that Kazakhstan's had a bit of a mad past, especially when it comes to Russia, USSR. So yeah, is this something that's interesting for me to look into? Let me know, guys. Let me know.
Brings us to Kazakhstan's landscape is kind of like an alternate universe Twilight Zone version of Mongolia. It's like kind of similar, but there's something a little off. First of all, the country is generally flat with massive steppes and plains like the Caspian Depression, the Turgai Valley, and the Kazakh uplands, which compose the majority of the country's land makeup. In the east and southeast, you get the mountains along the Altai and Tian Shan ranges, the highest mountain being Khan Tengri, which again is like the Roraima of Central Asia as it acts as a tri-point border between them, China, and Kyrgyzstan. I don't know why China even bothered with it though. It's like, come on, you already have like half of Mount Everest. Why take parts of other countries' tallest peaks? I know, right? Otherwise, numerous rivers cross the country, the longest one being the Irtysh River, which flows through the northeast, shared with Russia and China, dangerously close to the radio.
It's crazy because being such a huge country, bordering so many, you know, half Asia, then we got Europe, like the landscape must be absolutely incredible. Going from mountain ranges to the flat land, like I can only imagine there must be such a variety of different landscapes. Just the country in itself must be so incredible. I can't wait to explore Kazakhstan, man.
Active fallout from Semipalatinsk. However, the Ishim River is more important as it passes through the capital Astana. Then you get the strange largest lake, Balkhash, because the western half of it is freshwater and the east is saltwater. Strange.
Oh, wow.
And that's not even half the strange. Then you have things like the Valley of Balls.
Valley.
With strange spherical eroded boulders averaging around 3 to 4 meters wide.
Guys, whoa, that looks amazing. But wait, what's the Valley of Balls about? What's this about? Like, some of these are so perfectly spherical. You know, you think they must have been engineered to look like this. What do you guys know about this? Please let me know. I'm very intrigued. It's kind of seeming a little bit supernatural to me, maybe.
Balls.
Valley.
With strange spherical eroded boulders averaging around 3 to 4 meters wide. You have this strange submerged forest, Tamgali Gorge,
amazing.
Chardon Canyon. The most notable natural landmark, the Drying Arrow Sea. It was made by diverting water in the former Soviet times, and now you can see a strange post-apocalyptic setting with rusting abandoned ships and sea vessels in a dry grassland as Bactrian camels graze quietly in the distance.
There's
By the way, if
there
you're
as well?
part of an alternative rock band, this is like the perfect place to make a location shoot for an album cover. Anyway, Kazakhstan is loaded with natural resources. About 100 of the elements on the periodic table can be found mined in Kazakhstan. They take 12.
Whoa, that's major. So Kazakhstan's got some rich resources, man. 100 minerals.
About 100 of the elements on the periodic
100
table
elements,
can be
sorry.
found mined in Kazakhstan.
That's
they take
crazy.
12th place in oil reserves, and they are in the top 20 of gas reserves, most of which center around the 970 square mile Tengiz oil field, which is one of the largest in the world, making it the country's largest export oil, which in return makes them the largest economy in Central Asia, as they hold about 60% of the entire region's GDP. Wildlife is actually quite prevalent. You have voles, gray herons, bats, pygmy cormorants, wolves, foxes, stoats, marbled polecats, saiga antelopes, and the two
Whoa, hold on. Two things, yeah? The wildlife looks incredible, and I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if I've ever spoken about it, but I absolutely love nature. I love wildlife. This part of the video here is probably the most interesting for me so far, because seeing the incredible landscape in Kazakhstan is blowing my mind. Secondly, snow leopards genuinely are one of my favorite animals. Yeah, I've always wanted to see one. This is mad that they're in Kazakhstan. But what actually made me stop the video was
Pygmy
this.
cormorants,
Hold on.
wolves, foxes,
Hold on.
stoats, marbled polecats, saigai.
Saigai antelopes. What is this? What is this? I know what an antelope is. I've seen many antelopes. I don't know if I've ever seen this before. Look at the what is going on with the nose? Nah, you don't need to. I might have to just do a whole episode on this. What is this? What is this? Saigai antelope. Nah, that looks crazy. That looks crazy.
Antelopes, and the two national animals, the snow leopard and the golden steppe eagle. However, the
And the
horse
golden
is probably
eagle,
the
oh
most
my
important
days.
Animal. It's been said that the horse was
Yeah,
probably first tamed.
hey, you lot know how much I talk about the horses, yeah? If I see a horse in a music video, I tell you it's a banger. I've come to realize horses are so important in Kazakhstan. It may be the origin of the horse. Like, yes, a proper, they don't, I know you guys don't play when it comes to the horses.
Been domesticated in Kazakhstan.
there we go.
Debatable. The horse also plays into food. There's a joke that Kazakhs are the second largest meat eaters in the world, the first being wolves. Ha! Challenge accepted. The national dish being beshbarmak, literally translated as
Beshbarmak.
5 fingers because you're supposed to eat it with your hands.
Okay.
Noodles with horse meat on top. Yes, they eat
Okay.
horse. However, the rule is you do not eat the horse you ride. Stop copying me. It's also
Tell me about this, guys, because I don't know how I feel about that. I've never tried horse before. What's it like? Like, what is it like? Does it compare to any other meat? Is it similar to beef? What's it like? Cause yeah, I'm coming to Kazakhstan. I'm gonna be trying stuff. I'm hesitant about the horse meat. I really am. I'm not gonna lie to you. Please convince me otherwise, guys.
said that apples originated in Kazakhstan.
Yes, I've
The
heard
name of the
this.
city,
Yes,
Almaty,
yes.
actually translates to the place of many apples. You can even find many wild apple trees and forests all across Kazakhstan. Otherwise, Kazakhstan does pretty well at staying afloat. I mean, they became the first former Soviet nation to receive a positive global investment ranking in 2002. They paid off all their debt to the IMF. Nonetheless, all that forward moving does come with a little bit of backstory and a tincture of controversy, which brings us to... Now, I personally love meeting ethnic Kazakh people because I feel like they could totally pass as my siblings that were separated from me at birth. It's weird. They've got just that beautiful mixture of Asian and Europe. First of
Yeah,
all, the country has
they
about
do.
18.1 million people and has about 6 people per square kilometer. The country is about 67% ethnically Kazakh, whereas about
Okay.
20% are Russians, and the rest are made up of other groups, mostly Turkic peoples like Uzbeks, Uyghurs, and other groups like Chechens,
Okay.
Ukrainians, Tartars, and Poles. They use the Kazakhstani tenge as their currency, they use the Type-C plug outlet, and they drive on the right side of the road. Now let's talk about the largest
cool.
indigenous people group. What exactly is a Kazakh? Well, today that question is a lot harder to answer than what it may have been 1,000 years ago. In the shortest way, Kazakhs are classified as a Turkic people group, not Turkish, Turkic. There's a difference, in which they share the same linguistic structure as many other countries and people groups across Asia and Europe. I found this video hosted by Aysulu from the channel Gilo Team, which they do a great job explaining. Check it out.
Казахи и турки – это оба тюркские народности. Причина, почему они выглядят по-разному, в том, что турки – это угузские тюрки, а казахи – это кипчакские тюрки. Кипчакские тюрки остались в Азии, а угузские тюрки мигрировали в Анатолию. Кипчакские тюрки подверглись монгольскому нашествию, поэтому мы выглядим монголоидно. Казахи выглядят как китайцы, проповедующие ислам и разговаривающие на русском языке.
Awesome video, right? This creates a whole new unique kind of populace that looks like an entire nation of biracials. Kind of like what happened with Brazil with the Pardo people. Nonetheless, most of Kazakhstan is kind of actually at a cultural crossroads. More people speak Russian than the actual native Kazakh language. Yep, I feel you. Nonetheless, the president,
find that
Nursultan
interesting.
Nazarbayev, who has been their only president since independence and has a little bit of controversy, like when he held a snap election in 2015.
Is he still the president? Let me know, guys, because I think this video is a good few years old. Let me know if this guy's still in power.
After being accused of human rights violations, just announced that in the next few years, Kazakhstan will be switching over from using the Cyrillic alphabet to the Latin one. Some saying this being a subtle move to Kazakhify their country.
Wait, what'd you say about the president?
Just look it up, we don't have time. As a Turkic country, Kazakhs are related to and can kind of understand the speech of their other Turkic neighbors that extend as far as the frozen Arctic tundras of northeast Russia to the Black Sea with Turkey and the Gagauz people in that strange autonomous unit in Moldova. Moldova is gonna be a fun episode, trust me. It's like a place where people don't care if everything is burning to the ground. They just dance through it. Anyway, obviously we don't have time to get into the full history of Kazakhstan, but in the quickest way I can put it, Scythians, Turkic-speaking Mongol tribes arrive, Huns invade, Arabic Karaghanid Turks come in and introduce Islam, tribal powers fight for control, Hittians invade, Timur Ileng builds an empire, Kazakhs break away from the Uzbek Khanate, Zungar people invade, Russians come in and help, then the Russians kind of take over and rule them, Khan Kene revolts against Russians unsuccessfully, tons of new Russians and Ukrainians flock in to work, Kazakhs resist military draft in World War I, they become an autonomous republic in the USSR, Russian influence for decades, independence in 1991, capital is moved, tons of new Kazakhs migrate back to Kazakhstan and ethnic Russians move out, making Kazakhs a majority in their own country again, Nazarbayev becomes their only president, a bunch of oil gas pipeline controversy, and here we are today. Now when it
He talks so quick. I was really trying to take that in, but I think what I'm actually gonna do, if you guys are cool with it and you're down to vibe with me, I'm gonna do a separate video just on Kazakh history, because what he was running through really quickly there seemed very interesting to me. But it was so quick to take it in. But it seems there's been a lot of invasions. Interestingly, Kazakhstan's got its independence in, did he say 1990 or 1991? Yeah. So I think I want to go into the history separately, because I feel like there's a lot going on there that we can really dive into. And this guy's talking so quick, I can't take it all in. But he said enough for me to know that I'm interested and I want to know more. Yeah? We'll say that.
comes to culture, Kazakhstan is quite unique. For one,
Now this is what I'm very interested in. The culture. I'm very interested in this.
the majority at around 64% identify at least nominally as Muslim. However, in 1990, President Nazarbayev actually created a
I say okay, but then that makes sense as to why we're out here saying salam. Yeah? That makes sense. Okay.
separate Muftiate for the Kazakh Muslims. He forbade religious political parties and removed Kazakhstan from the authority of the Muslim Board of Central Asia. This decreed Kazakhstan as a secular state, even though the government kind of puts strict control on all religious communities. This makes Kazakhstan the only Central Asian country whose constitution does not assign special status to Islam. And apart from certain areas with mosques, you wouldn't even really notice it too much, especially in the booming cities. This is because Kazakhstan's culture is way more Turkic and Mongol derived than stereotypical Middle East Arab Muslim derived. There are people of wanderers, nomads, some people even still live in yurts in the countryside.
And that is what I want to learn more about. If you guys have got any videos you can suggest, I want to learn more about that Mongolian connection in the history, the Turkic connection in the history. Obviously, I know, just judging from that quick history that he did, there was, some invasions, and it seems that Islam was introduced at a certain point, but what was there before Islam? That's what I want to know more about. And also as well, I want to know more about the 7 generations. I know there's probably a word for it, but we've had some little touches on this when we've been talking about some music stuff, but I want to learn more about that in some real depth to really understand that, because I think that's really, really interesting.
Oh, geez, really? Again? During celebrations, you can see people wearing traditional costumes, playing
I want to see
traditional
more of
steppe
this,
folk
yeah.
music. By the way, they celebrate 3 different New Years: Gregorian, Nariz Spring Equinox, and the Julian calendar. They have so many horse-related festivals and games like Pick Up the Napkin and Steal the Woman on a Horse, and if you can't, she gets to beat you with a whip game. Aside from all that, Kazakhs are known for excelling in sports like weightlifting, cycling, and ice hockey. Some notable people from Kazakhstan might include people like cyclist Alexandre Vinokurov, Sabina Altinbekova, Timur Bekmambetov, Gennady Golovkin, Denis Ten,
Hey, listen.
Sabina Altinbekova, Timur Bekmambetov, Gennady.
Yeah. Man like Triple G.
Golovkin, Denis Ten, Abay Kunanbayuli, Ken Alibek, Abilay Khan, Olja Suleimanov, Marat Zhlambayev, and Shukrat Mitalipov. At least those are the people you guys, the Kazakh geography peeps, mentioned to me. I literally have no idea who most of those people are. So basically, with Kazakhstan, you get this strange land of East Asian, European, mixed kind of nominally Muslim people that speak Russian that love to ride and eat horses. Yeah, sounds like people I'd hang with. And let's find out who else thinks the same in... Kazakhstan is like the kingpin big brother of Central Asia. If you want to talk to any of the other former Soviet republics, you usually got to start here first. Now, they generally get along with other Turkic and Russian-speaking countries. However, Central Asia is kind of like the Balkans, which it's like a family with a bit of dysfunction. Turkmenistan is like the angry brother that isolates himself, and Uzbekistan is like the angry brother that argues with all the other brothers. Kyrgyzstan is like the little brother that they love, but they keep asking them for money. Tajikistan is like the distant cousin that speaks a Persian-based language. Turkey, Mongolia, and South Korea are like faraway, distant, close friends that share the same Turkic and Mongoloid history and culture as well. They've established great trade deals. Tons of Koreans seem to love moving to Kazakhstan. The US was the first place.
Wow. And I had no idea. I didn't know there was that connection. That's really interesting.
To recognize them as a state after independence, and they've been jumping in on investments. But when it comes to their best friends, most Kazakh people I've talked to have said Russia. Although certain seasons of controversy have existed, overall, Russia has not only been close in customs unions, they and Belarus share a free trade agreement, but in almost every other level of diplomacy, they get along well. They both speak Russian, they both love Russian food and TV shows, and even though Kazakhstan is trying to wean itself off the Russian influence to resurge a more Kazakh identity, they can't help but cling on to certain aspects that were so deeply ingrained in their history from the Russians. In conclusion, Kazakhstan is a country that is full of East Asian mixed, horse-loving, Muslim majority identifying, Russian-speaking, government controversifying, but moving forward with resource extracting country. That was a fun episode. Kazakhstan, all the wonderful info we just learned. Can't you? That was so horrible. I think that's the worst pun I've.
All right. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm glad I got to the end of that video. Yeah. I'm going to keep it real. This guy was getting on my nerves. He was getting on my nerves. But very interesting information. I don't think we got enough. I think the whole point of this was to try and round up the some of the history, culture, etc., geography very quickly. And it's good because it's given me enough of a taste for me to want to learn more. So I'm very glad that I came across it for that reason. It got a lot of stuff into one. But man, this guy was getting on my fucking nerves. He was getting on my nerves, man. I'm sorry to say. Like, he was talking way too quick and I was trying to really take in the information and it was doing my head in. But yeah, so now I've got that out of my system. Yeah, I just needed to get it out of my system, guys. The whole time I was sitting here, I was just like, this guy. I just want to learn about Kazakhstan, bro. Like, you're just talking like, you're just talking so quick. You're just like, I can't take it in. I can't take it in. Man. But yeah, anyway. That was interesting, guys. Listen. Sorry, now I got it out of my system. I'm begging you lot, please, 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 please. Suggest some stuff for me in the comments. Yeah, suggest some stuff for me in the comments. I tell you what I'm interested in. I really want to know more about like the landscape, the different kind of, how do I say this? The different type of landscapes you got. I want to know about the mountains. I want to know about the nature. I want to know a bit more about the animals. Definitely about this antelope. Yeah, that's something I definitely want to know about. I want to know more about the history, the culture, the food, definitely. So let's talk more about the horse meat. What else? Horses generally, the connection with the Mongolian connection. What else do I really want to know about? And you guys just tell me what you think would be really interesting for me. What you guys are really proud of as Kazakhs, you know? Yeah, man. But let's dive deeper because I think this is really cool. Like, I love the music. You guys know I love the music, man. Kazakh music has got a special place in my heart. But it's actually deeper than that. And now I actually want to like explore more of the culture. Like, I really want to learn more about Kazakhstan, about Kazakhstan people, the history. So put me on, guys. Please help me out. You know I love it when you drop the links in there. The links are great. That would just be so helpful to me. Yeah? Please, 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 please. But yeah, man, if you enjoyed this one, if you're enjoying me doing some different type of content, make sure you leave some love, leave some comments, guys. Make sure you're hyping this, liking it, do all that good stuff. Do all that good stuff. The most important though, yeah, I need you guys to make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Come on, guys, like make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Go watch my other videos over there. If you made it this far, you know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say, guys? It's absolute love. I love you, man. Make sure you have a sick day, sick night. Go be a G. Boom.